Assalamu alaikum friends, you're watching Tax Dosti videos. We are in part 8 and we're seeing what logic judges have used in the Sindh High Court October 2022 judgment regarding Section 7E, tax on deemed income, and why they have declared it to be valid law. We are in paragraph number 8 and part 8 of this video. So if you missed this other parts, you can watch it on Tax Dosti YouTube channel. In paragraph 8 in the judgment, they write from the pursual of the aforesaid entry 47. In the previous paragraph, they were discussing the power of the government given in the constitution. Here they are explaining it. It appears that the federal legislature can impose taxes on income other than an agriculture income. A plain reading of this entry makes it clear that insofar as any income is concerned, a tax can be validly levied by the federal legislature. Perhaps to this effect, there is no dispute, and petitioners' counsels have not raised any objection that if it is a case of any income, tax can be levied by the federation. Insofar as entry 50 is concerned, this second entry, again, it permits the federal legislature to impose taxes on capital value of assets, not included taxes on immovable property. The case of the petitioner before us is to the effect that the impugned levy under Section 7E is not a tax on income. This is the main argument of all petitioners in Pakistan, that this is not a tax on income but a tax on immovable property, which means that it is not using entry number 47, rather it is section 7E is directly connected to entry 50 rather than entry 47. That is why in the judgment he is writing that 7E is not a tax on income according to the petitioners, but a tax on immovable property, which in terms of entry 50 is not within the competence of federal legislation. Since entry 50 says that the government cannot levy taxes on the capital value of immovable property, so in essence, in pith and substance, this section 7E is a tax on immovable property and comes under directly related to entry 50. To proceed further, it would be advantageous to refer to the relevant provisions of the impugned levy introduced by way of section 7E in the Ordinance through Finance Act 2022, which read as under. So if you want to see a reading of section 7E, you can watch that video, plain reading of section 7E on Tax Dosti YouTube channel. Here we will only read the highlighted portion which relate to the current discussion, that what powers are given in the constitution and is section 7E connected to entry number 47 or entry number 50. So subsection 2 of section 7E says a resident person, which means that this section does not apply to non-resident persons for tax year 2022 and going forward, shall be treated to have derived as income chargeable to tax under this section an amount equal to 5% of the fair market value of the asset. And then the complete section is given here. And then capital asset means property of any kind held by a person, whether or not connected with a business, but does not include any stock in trade, consumable stores or raw material held for the purpose of business, any shares, stocks and securities, any property with respect to which person is entitled to depreciation deduction under section 22 or amortization deduction under 24, or any movable asset not mentioned in 1, 2 and 3. Now here the judges have highlighted the charging section, who has to pay, at what rate and how, and here the capital asset has been defined. So in paragraph number 9, in part 9, we will discuss the conclusion from this, but here we can go through generally the whole section, which says that for tax year 2022 and onward, a tax will be levied, and it will be levied on capital assets except these capital assets. One capital asset owned by a resident person. Yeah, just remember this section does not apply to non-resident because here it is written a resident person. If the wording would have been a person shall be deemed to have, then here resident and non-resident both persons would have been considered. And even when we are considering resident person, person doesn't only mean individual, it also means companies and partnership. So if you are holding immovable property which is not part of your business but you're holding it as a company, this section 7E also applies on you. You are watching part 8 of Tax Dosti videos. I hope you are learning and enjoying what are the logic by which this section has been held valid. Thank you.